Hello, and welcome back to Better English Step by Step. Today, we are not just learning phrases, we are building a logic engine for your speaking. Picture this. The webcam light is green. The interviewer leans forward and asks, "Walk me through your decision on that last project." You start talking, but halfway through you realize you don't know where the sentence is going. You are rambling. You feel your face get hot.
I know that heat perfectly. I remember in my very first serious job interview, I was asked a simple question about a deadline. I started talking, and I just kept adding details because I was nervous. I saw the interviewer's eyes glaze over, but I couldn't stop. It was awful.
In this hour, we will fix that exact feeling. You will master the 3-step logic chain, so you never get lost in a long explanation again. Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Whether you are walking, driving, or sitting at your desk, relax your shoulders. We are going to take this slowly.
The problem we are solving today is not about vocabulary. You probably know enough words to explain your job or your life. The problem is structure.
Exactly. When we are nervous or when we are speaking a second language, our brains tend to panic. We latch on to first thought we have, and then we just keep adding and so, until the sentence becomes a maze.
We call this the ramble. It happens when you start speaking before you know how you are going to finish.
And the result is that you sound unsure. You might have made a brilliant decision at work, but if you explain it with a messy sentence, you sound like you were guessing.
Today, we are going to replace the ramble with the logic chain. It is a simple framework. Context, action, result.
Context, action, result. 3 links in a chain. If you have these 3 links, you can answer any complex question in an interview, a meeting, or even a casual conversation without getting lost.
We are going to break down each link separately. We'll learn the exact phrases to start each section. We will practice them until they feel automatic, and then we'll put them together in a simulation.
Let's start with the first link, the context.
The context is where you set the scene. But here's the secret. It must be short.
This is where most learners go wrong. When someone asks, "Why did you choose that software?" or "Why did you move to this city?" we feel like we need to give the entire history.
Right. We start telling a story from 5 years ago. We give too much background. By the time we get to the actual answer, the listener is bored.
The context step should be 1 or 2 sentences maximum. Its only job is to define the problem you are solving.
Think of it as the before picture. What was the situation before you acted?
We need strong opening phrases that signal to the listener, here is the situation. We are going to practice 3 specific openers today.
Listen to this first one. At the time, we were facing a challenge with.
Listen again. At the time, we were facing a challenge with.
Let's try that together. I will say the phrase, and then I will leave a quiet space for you to repeat it aloud. At the time, we were facing a challenge with.
At the time, we were facing a challenge with. Let's see how this works in a real sentence. Imagine someone asks, "Why did you hire a new assistant?" You could say, "At the time, we were facing a challenge with our workload."
Short, clear. It tells me exactly what the problem was. Let's try another example. Imagine someone asks, "Why did you change your study routine?"
At the time, I was facing a challenge with my energy levels in the evening.
Notice how Sophie used the past continuous tense there. I was facing, we were facing. This is very powerful for setting context because it describes a temporary situation in the past.
Let's practice just that grammar piece. We were facing.
Repeat after me. We were facing.
Now the full phrase. At the time, we were facing a challenge with.
Excellent. Now let's look at a second phrase for setting context. This one is useful when you want to reference a specific limitation, like time or money.
The phrase is, given the tight deadline.
Or more generally, given the situation with.
Given here is a wonderful word. It means considering or because of. It makes you sound very professional and objective.
Let's practice the structure. Given the problem, I needed to find a solution.
Let's try a specific example. The question is, why did you submit the report early?
The context answer, given the upcoming holiday, I wanted to clear my desk.
Let's shadow that phrase. Given the upcoming holiday.
Given the upcoming holiday.
Now let's try it with a work problem. given the budget cuts.
Repeat that. Given the budget cuts.
Given the budget cuts, we had to be creative.
This is much better than saying, well, we didn't have much money, so...
Exactly. Given the budget cuts sounds like a leader speaking. We didn't have money sounds like a complaint.
Let's try one more context opener. This one is very direct. The main issue was that
This is perfect when you want to cut straight to the core of the problem.
the main issue was that our software was too slow.
The main issue was that we were miscommunicating.
Let's practice this opener. The main issue was that.
Repeat after me. The main issue was that.
Now, I want you to mix and match these in your head. I am going to give you a scenario, and I want you to whisper a context sentence using one of these three phrases.
Here is the scenario. You're explaining why you bought a car instead of taking the bus. The problem was the bus was always late.
How would you start that answer? Use the main issue was that. You could say, the main issue was that the bus was consistently unreliable.
Or use the first phrase we learned. At the time, I was facing a challenge with my commute.
See how clean that is? You aren't telling a long story about waiting in the rain. You are just stating the context.
Let's try one more scenario. You're explaining why you quit your gym membership. The problem was it was too expensive. Use the given phrase.
Given the high monthly cost, I had to reconsider.
Perfect. You have set the scene. The listener knows the problem. Now they are ready for the second link in the chain.
The second link is the action.
This is the pivot point. You have described the problem. Now you describe what you did about it.
The mistake people make here is focusing too much on we or being passive. They say, so the project got finished, or so we sort of tried to fix it.
To sound confident, you need clear transition words and strong verbs. You need to signal that you made a choice.
The best transition words for this step are consequently, therefore, or the phrase I decided to.
Let's look at consequently. It is a beautiful alternative to so.
So is fine for casual chat, but in a meeting, consequently signals logic. It means as a direct result of the context I just told you.
Let's practice the pronunciation. It is 4 syllables. Consequently. Stress on the first syllable. Consequently.
Repeat after me. Consequently.
Consequently.
Now, let's link it to an action verb. Consequently, I decided to.
Consequently, I decided to change the strategy.
Let's go back to our car example. The main issue was that the bus was unreliable. Consequently, I decided to buy a car.
Do you hear how strong that connection is? Problem, solution.
Let's try the phrase, my approach was to.
This is a softer, very professional way to describe your action. It shows you were thinking carefully.
My approach was to.
Repeat after me. My approach was to.
Let's use the gym example. Given the high cost, my approach was to switch to home workouts.
It sounds deliberate. It sounds like you had a plan.
The third phrase for the action step is simple but effective. To address this,
To address this means to fix this problem or to handle this situation.
To address this, I scheduled a meeting with the team.
To address this, I reorganized my calendar.
Let's practice that opener. To address this,
Repeat after me. To address this.
now let's talk about the verbs you use after these openers. Sophie, you mentioned strong verbs earlier.
Yes, avoid weak verbs like did, made, or got. Try to use verbs that show specific mental effort.
Instead of I made a plan, try I developed a strategy.
Instead of I talked to him, try I consulted with him.
Instead of I found out, try I identified the root cause.
Let's practice a few action sentences using these strong verbs. I will give you a weak sentence, and Daniel will turn it into a strong logic chain sentence.
Ready.
Weak sentence. So I talked to the client about the delay.
Strong action. To address this, I communicated the delay clearly to the client.
Weak sentence. So I looked at the numbers to see what was wrong.
Strong action. Consequently, I analyzed the data to identify the error.
Weak sentence. So I chose a different vendor.
Strong action. Given the costs, I selected a more affordable vendor.
Do you hear the difference? The weak sentences sound like you are just chatting. The strong sentences sound like you are reporting.
And notice, we are using the simple past tense here. I communicated, I analyzed, I selected.
In the context step, we often used continuous, we were facing. In the action step, we use simple past, because it is a completed event. You made the decision, it is done.
Let's do a quick shadow practice of 3 action sentences.
Sentence 1. Consequently, I prioritize the most urgent tasks.
Repeat. Consequently, I prioritize the most urgent tasks.
Sentence 2. To address this, I implemented a new tracking system.
Repeat. To address this, I implemented a new tracking system.
Sentence 3. Therefore, I initiated a conversation with my manager.
Therefore, I initiated a conversation with my manager.
Wonderful. You have the context, the problem, you have the action, the solution. Now you need to stick the landing.
The third link is the result.
This is where you close the loop. This is the period at the end of the paragraph.
The biggest reason people ramble is that they don't know how to stop. They say what they did and then they just keep talking. They fade out. So yeah, I did that and it was, yeah.
The result step gives you permission to stop speaking. It answers the question, what happened because of your action?
We need phrase openers that signal the end.
The classic one is, as a result.
Simple, effective. As a result, we met the deadline.
As a result, the project was a success.
Let's practice. As a result.
Repeat, as a result.
Another great one is, this led to.
This led to a 20% increase in sales.
This led to a much happier team.
This led to is great because it directly connects your action to the outcome.
And finally, if you want to be very precise, the outcome was that.
The outcome was that we saved 2 hours a week.
The outcome was that I felt more confident.
Let's put the car example all together now to see the full chain.
Context. The main issue was that the bus was consistently unreliable.
Action. Consequently, I decided to buy a car to take control of my commute.
Result. As a result, I now arrive at work 10 minutes early every day.
Stop.
Exactly. Stop there. You don't need to add, which is really nice because I like coffee, and no, you stuck the landing.
It feels short, doesn't it?
It might feel too short to you, but to the listener, it feels professional. It feels respectful of their time.
Let's try the gym example again with the full chain.
Context. Given the high monthly cost of my gym membership.
My approach was to switch to home workouts.
Result. The outcome was that I saved money without sacrificing my health.
Boom. Done. Next question.
This structure, context, action, result, is often called the STAR method in interview training. Situation, task, action, result. But we are simplifying it for daily English. The logic chain works for everything.
It works for explaining why you were late. Context, there was unexpected traffic on the bridge. Action, to address this, I took the alternate route. Result, as a result, I was only 5 minutes behind schedule. If you are enjoying this step-by-step breakdown and you want to keep building this kind of calm confidence in your English, please consider subscribing to the channel. We release these deep dive practice sessions regularly to help you move from learning to speaking.
And if you are already subscribed, thank you. It really helps us keep making these lessons.
Now we are going to move into the simulator.
This is the most important part of the hour. We are going to simulate a high-pressure environment, but in a safe way.
I am going to act as your manager or interviewer. I will ask you a tough why question.
First, I will give a bad answer, a rambling, messy answer. I want you to listen to it and notice how it makes you feel.
Then we will break it down and build the perfect logic chain answer together.
Finally, Sophie will ask the question again, and I will be silent. You will answer in the pause using the structure.
Are you ready? Shake out your hands. Take a deep breath.
Let's go.
Scenario 1. You are at work. You missed a deadline on a report. It is not a huge disaster, but your boss wants to know what happened.
Okay, I'm the employee. I'm nervous.
Daniel, I noticed the quarterly report wasn't in my inbox this morning. Can you walk me through what happened there?
Oh, right, yes. So, well, you know how the data from the marketing team was late? Well, they sent it on Tuesday, but then I had that other project for Steve, and I tried to do both, but the file was corrupted, so I had to email IT, and they took a while, so I just couldn't get it done. Sorry.
Oof. How did that feel?
Panic. I sounded like I was making excuses. I was blaming Steve, blaming IT, blaming the data. It sounded messy.
And as a boss, I stopped listening after the first well. I just heard noise.
Let's fix it with a logic chain. Context, action, result.
Step 1. Context. What was the real problem?
The data was late, leaving me with too little time.
Let's use the phrase, the main issue was that.
The main issue was that the source data arrived 48 hours later than expected.
Good. Objective. No blaming, just facts. Now, step 2. Action. What did you do?
I prioritized accuracy over speed. I decided not to rush and make mistakes.
Let's use the phrase, consequently, I decided to.
Consequently, I decided to delay the submission to ensure the numbers were 100% accurate.
Strong. You made a leadership decision. You didn't just run out of time. You decided to ensure accuracy.
Now, step 3. Result. What is the outcome?
The outcome is the report will be ready soon.
As a result, I will have the final verified draft on your desk by 2 p.m. today.
Excellent. Let's hear the full answer.
The main issue was that the source data arrived 48 hours later than expected. Consequently, I decided to delay the submission to ensure the numbers were 100% accurate. As a result, I will have the final, verified draft on your desk by 2 p.m. today.
That sounds like an employee I can trust. Even though you missed the deadline, you are in control.
Now, it is your turn. I want you to speak this answer. You can use your own words if you want, or stick to our script.
I will ask the question. You have the floor. I noticed the report wasn't in my inbox. Can you walk me through what happened? Your turn. I am the recruiter. I see a gap in your employment here. Can you explain that?
Did you feel the difference? You aren't apologizing for the gap. You're explaining the value of the gap.
That is the power of the logic chain. It reframes your reality.
We have time for one more brief simulation, a comment social question.
Why are you learning English?
This is often where we say, because I like it, or because it is important.
Those are fine, but let's make it a logic chain. Let's make it deep.
Context. I was facing a ceiling in my career where I couldn't access international clients.
Action. Consequently, I decided to treat English as a professional priority, not just a hobby.
Result. This led to me applying for this job today.
Beautiful. It tells a story of ambition.
Now, I want you to try this one with your own truth. Why are you learning English? Think of your context, the limitation, your action, what you are doing now, and the result, what you want to achieve.
I will ask you. So tell me, why are you focusing so hard on your English right now?
That was a long pause, I know, but creating a custom answer takes time.
If you struggled with that one, write it down later. Context, action, result. It is your personal mission statement.
We have covered a lot of ground today. We learned 3 ways to set context.
At the time we were facing, given the situation, the main issue was,
We learned 3 ways to pivot to action.
consequently, I decided to. My approach was to address this,
And we learned 3 ways to land on the result.
as a result, the outcome was that this led to.
But knowing the phrases isn't enough. You have to use them when the pressure is on.
The next time you are in a meeting or even writing an email, look for the logic chain.
In fact, writing is the best place to start. You have more time to think.
Before you hit send on an important email, check your paragraphs. Do you see the context? Do you see the action? Do you see the result?
If you just see a long list of and then, delete it. Rewrite it with the chain.
It will make your emails shorter, clearer, and much more powerful.
Here is your challenge for this week.
Here is your challenge for this week. Find one opportunity to use the phrase consequently or as a result in a real conversation or email. Just one.
It feels formal at first, but watch how people react. They stop interrupting. They listen because they know you're going somewhere with your thought.
You are not rambling. You are leading.
Thank you for trusting us with your time today. We know how hard it is to build these skills, but you are doing the work, step by step.
Keep practicing the chain. Context, action, result. You've got this.
We will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.